it's the report from Leon.
Yeah. And I go to sit there in the corner.
Yeah.
There's a house.
But then
I
it's-
just see those people on my second.
Right.
February,
They're always
and
having
I gave
issues
you a
with
copy
the
of the
girl.
Leon's report.
Oh, Jerry.
I didn't get a report yet.
I initially. You want to?
I don't know, because.
I know, but, I mean,
Does he live with his sister? Yeah, he's
Oh.
stuck at first.
Okay. Yeah, no.
He assisted my mom. And the thing is, the sidewalks here.
They were out there shoveling.
So anyway, yeah, they're here, and here's the corner. So I went up to take her.
You were out early.
Then I go around with the car.
You don't even change the Wi-Fi, that's why you're not getting
It's
it.
late.
right.
So I won't go out right away, I'll go like, later,
Right,
you know.
yeah,
Can't do it now.
yeah.
And I'll go out at night.
Oh, they plug you back in anyway, yeah.
Randolph comes down one truck, opens the hook up, and then these guys are out there. They have no reason to go over there, but they still go over there anyway.
So I.
So I get
It's
out.
fine.
Randolph Cloud?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to cut off. No, they'll end up cutting you in.
Randolph Cloud's in front of him.
Oh, Randolph Plaza closed?
They always did. And Victory Gardens.
Yeah.
They come down the road to clean plow for Christ's sake.
Well, that's what they did, I went down the last time, they did it Sunday morning. And then
Yeah.
But anyway.
Get away from there.
I did, what's her name?
Oh,
Person on the agenda. Hey Valerie.
How are you?
Good.
So you ain't speaking?
Hi. No, I had a question.
Huh?
I was asking a question. How are you?
I'm still alive.
It's always good to see, right?
So I see.
Especially
Hey, sit one seat over.
Huh?
Sit one seat over.
Yeah.
Otherwise your head will be in the camera. All we'll see is your head, back of your head.
What, you don't like my waist?
I know.
Hey, old man, how are you?
Getting old.
Well, you're supposed to be getting better with age, right?
Oh, I am good, but I'm getting older.
Yeah, you got a haircut? What's happening?
Well, I have this, like I was in an accident.
Get out of here.
Yeah, my wife and me were one of them.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's how I got it so short.
John, you've been waiting to tell that one, haven't you?
Huh?
You've been waiting to tell that story.
Hey, she stuck her foot in there.
No.
If she ran you over with the lawnmower, you're gonna be sitting there right now. She know right where to
Oh, she was.
flip over.
No, he used to say to me, what did your mom do? He used to say to me, what your mom did, bowl.
yeah, it's not.
We can't afford batteries.
He doesn't speak so English.
What time is it?
Why don't you just go to my site and download the video?
I need to know what time it is right now.
7:05.
Are you going to do an intro on your video?
All contractors coming out, so field work's really picking up. You do a good job. I got a man that's going on vacation.
Are those the construction plans for the... So what did you think of them?
You want to look at them again?
I saw them.
Waterman, Butler.
Did they show your steps in the right of way?
Right.
Yeah, and you know,
Did they match up with,
My hand on that one letter.
did they match up with the other survey that was done? Did it match up with the other survey that was done?
No, it was a survey that was just made up
Oh, I know
to
that.
accommodate the
Right.
situation. It wasn't that it was legit.
Like you say, everybody works together.
See, and clearly, you can say that if you're saying from here to here, and you're going around, clearly there's a problem by the time you get here.
So they only need a certain width of road.
In order to determine the right-of-way, you have to divide from road bed to road bed by 2.
The road bed's not.
Exactly, so how did you get a number?
Well, they probably figured based on
No,
points.
listen, I'm sorry, but if this is the number of feet on the right-of-way, I can't hear you.
Remember Debbie said everybody's on the right away. So why are they only coming out?
Because it's a federal case now.
If the road was like this, then you would be correct. But the road isn't that narrow all the way down.
Exactly. Matter of fact, it's wider here in this municipal bay, and it's wider here.
The guy was there.
But my point is, if you're declaring a right-of-way on this side of the street, why aren't you declaring that same measurement
Well, they did.
on the other
They
side?
said this is the right of way, you just leave it on.
Yeah, but look how this goes over here. That can't possibly be right.
But they did it according to the topography of the land. Because there's a drop off right here, I think it goes downhill.
Regardless of how you're saying it, if it's road bed to road bed, okay.
Well, no, that's
You
what
get a
they're
number,
using.
okay, to determine the center of the street, right?
Well,
Right? No, that's what they're using, isn't it? No, that's what they claim they're using, right? So then, in order to get the number for the right-of-way, if you're claiming 16 foot from the center of the road, that still would have to apply on the other side.
This is the meeting of the planning board of the
Why
Borough of
wouldn't it?
Country Gardens, held on Wednesday, March 20th, 2019, at 7:08 p.m. We do have a quorum, so everyone please stand for pledge of allegiance.
You know?
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting has been advertised in the Daily Record in compliance with New Jersey Open Meeting Act, and we have a roll call.
You're home.
Here.
Mr. Glass.
Here.
Ms. Viola.
Here.
Mr. Zagal.
Here.
Ms. Byfield. Ms. Davis. Here. Ms. Colombo present. We also have our attorney, John Kaplan, and our engineer, Leon Hall.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. And your roll call?
Mayor Holman?
Yes.
Mr. Glass?
Yes.
Ms. Viola?
Yes.
Mr. Zagal?
Abstain.
Ms. Davis? Yes. Ms. Colombo, yes.
Okay. And we have an application carried over from that last meeting.
You can grab another seat if you like.
Let's sit all day. What's that?
So, at the last meeting, we had a bunch of concerns. I don't know if you have that information. You're
Let me
the
introduce
attorney for
my
that.
name is Mark Brancato, I'm June Brancato from New Jersey. I'm attorney for the applicant, Olivia Cardona, and WAPA's beauty salon. Ms. Cardona is here, as well as her son Noel.
Okay.
We would ask that Noel be able to testify on behalf of his mother, given that there's a language barrier. Ms. Cardona speaks primarily Spanish, and I think questions and answers could probably most accurately be dealt with through her son Noel. Alternatively, we have him act as interpreter for his mother and be sworn accordingly, but that's up to the board.
He's gonna testify to his personal knowledge?
As to his personal knowledge, yes. I have spoken to him in advance. He has been to the site, he's very familiar with the site and its operation and its intended usage.
But he can answer questions of the board's concerns from the last meeting?
Yes. This evening I received from Ms. Palumbo, February 14, 2019, correspondence of Mr. Hall addressing certain items. My understanding, and I will present the testimony to Noel in that regard, that many of these items have been addressed. So if I could do that, they'd like to swear in with.
Raise your right hand. So tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Just keep your voice up because you're being recorded.
You pull that microphone closer to you.
Just state your name and spell that, please.
Noel, Noel, Camacho, Camacho,
And your address.
31 Laurie Road, Landon, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Mr. Camacho, are you familiar with the property known as 303 South Salem Street?
Yes.
Okay, and is that the property where WAPA's salon will be located?
Yes.
Okay, and that is WAPA's salon will be operated by Olivia Cardona.
Correct.
And have you had an opportunity to visit that site, 303 Salem Street, before coming here today?
Yes.
In other words, over the past several months. Are you familiar with the site?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to show you a letter from Leon C. Hall, who's a PE, who's a borough engineer. The letter is dated February 14, 2019. I'm going to go through some of the points. There's 9 points raised by Mr. Hall and ask you some questions about those, okay?
Okay.
And have you had a chance to see this letter before sitting down this evening?
No, not myself. Just,
Okay. So the first item states on the front of the building there is a sign, parking in rear. Since the building is too close to the street, all parking should be in the rear. Is it the intention of Ms. Cardona to have cars parked in the rear as opposed to the front of the building?
correct.
Number 2 talks about the signs are very rusty and should be replaced. 1, do not enter sign, and 2, no parking fire lane sign. Will those or have those been replaced?
Those will be replaced.
Now Ms. Cardona does not own the property, correct?
Correct.
She's a tenant, or the salon is a tenant, and the name of the landlord is Kenneth Rush, or Rush, R-U-C-H?
Correct.
All right. Have you ever had a chance to talk to Mr. Rush about
Not personally.
Do you know if he's spoken to Ms. Cardona about these items?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at number 3. An ADA compliant parking space and access aisle with signage should be provided. Has that been done or will that be done?
That will be done.
Pavement repair is recommended at the front and the rear of the building. Now specifically, are you aware if this item will be addressed, or is that something that you're not aware of?
I'm not aware of that at the moment.
Number 5, at the rear entrance, handrails and Bilco doors are in poor condition and should be replaced. Do you know if those have been replaced?
Those are already replaced.
All right, and that's based upon you having gone there and seen those yourself?
That's based upon what she told me.
Okay. There was some debris at the property. Number 6, a couch and some other debris. Do you know if any of that has been removed?
It's all been removed.
Number 7, all garbage and litter should be removed from the entire property. To your knowledge, has the property been cleaned up?
Yes.
Then, number 8, pavement striping for parking spaces, 9 feet by 18 feet, should be provided. Painted directional arrows should be installed. Do you know if that's been accomplished yet?
Not yet.
Enclosure, pad, fence for this use. Do you know if that's been accomplished?
Not yet.
Right. Now, the proposed use at 303 Salem Street, do you know what that's for? What would it be, the business of Waba's Salon?
It's hair and nails.
Okay, and other than hair and nails, are there any other services being offered at that site?
No.
Those are the only questions I have for this witness at this moment.
There's no other services,
No other service.
just hair and nail,
Correct.
facials?
No, no facial. At least not right now, not anytime soon.
Are you sure? It's advertised as facial and massage.
What are you referring to?
The website, facials and massage on the website.
No, she doesn't do facials or, that's a stock site. I made that for her, but it's not completed, as you can tell.
It's a what site? I'm sorry.
Stock, as in it hasn't really been touched too much or customized.
Are the photographs that are on that site, are those photographs that were taken at the actual salon, or are those photos that are available on the internet?
Those are stock photos.
So when you say stock photos, that means that there's something other than the actual.
So it looks like they're taken in the salon. You can see the background. Pictures of the client.
On the website?
Yeah.
All of those are stock photos.
They're not. They're not. They're people that were in the salon. Is it her intention to do facials and massage?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
So what's the other room for that has the bed in it?
Right, that used to be a massage room. But that's not her intention. Right now it's kind of just storage. When I say used to, I mean previous tenants.
They need a new lawyer.
All of the site work, how do you know it's going to get the dumpster that's striking?
I'll have to reach out to the landlord and speak to him.
Is the property owner coming tonight?
I had spoken to Mr. Russo earlier today, indicated to him that we're having a meeting at 7, he said he would attend. It's about 1:15, and I don't know that he has arrived at this point. And I received this letter this evening, and I have not had the opportunity to speak to the landlord about this. I wonder if I should maybe, since he's not here, maybe give him a call and see what his intentions are with regard to these items.
Sure.
Just a few minutes, I can call him now.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so when you do that, just come to the whole.
Definitely.
See no facials. Services. There's that one. I did. Good Lord. Here. Now. One salon that doesn't do it.
Oh, that's what you do.
All salons do it. Can you imagine them saying that this flower?
Yeah, you wanna open it? We're gonna, you guys can take a seat, and we're gonna go out of regular order, so he has time to make his call, and open the meeting to the public. Can I get a motion to do that, and then when he comes back, we'll close, okay?
You doing that, Valerie?
Is this the only time you're gonna open to the public?
Yes.
Yes.
No, no, I didn't think so. She was up.
Go ahead, I don't have.
No, I We
wanted you first.
Remember I said you need to go first.
You have your timer.
So you're working with your 5-minute rule? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Valerie Williams, 711 Adams Avenue. I need to ask, has this board received all the correspondence that I sent to it? Your combined board, planning board, board of adjustments. You're also a land use board. I sent several documents here starting in 2017. Have you reviewed them?
Recently, I haven't received.
Not recently, 2017 until present. You should have some documents from myself and from my mother, Janone Williams. Have you reviewed any of them?
It's about the step.
I reviewed everything that I've gotten. I don't know about everybody else.
Well, the mayor just let you know that it's reference to the stairs at
Okay.
711 Adams Avenue.
I reviewed everything that I've gotten.
So you're basically saying that you received, this entire board received.
I didn't say the entire board.
Well, could you verify if the board received the correspondence?
I don't know who you sent them to.
I sent it to this board, this combined land use board, one letter.
I'm referencing what I received. If
Did
you'd like to
anybody
ask
from
the
your
other
board, did
people-
anybody from your board receive correspondence from myself and my mother? Starting from 2017 till now. Ann Davis.
I don't recall any.
Butch.
I can't remember.
Okay, they sent you nothing. Okay, have you reviewed the comment about an additional survey for Adams Avenue? Okay, you know nothing about, now let me not ask that question. That would be a bit much. Okay, so since you are unaware, the borough right of way, okay, which would mean our stairs and everybody's stairs on that side of the street are identified to be in a right of way.
Okay.
So you guys inadvertently gave the without cause. So we're in a place now where we have lost the grant. It's a community development grant. We have lost it now 3 times because your land use administrator claims that our stairs are in a borough right of way. Now, how they can suddenly be in a borough right of way after 77 years, I just don't understand that. So, I need to know what you're going to do about it. Are you going to put in 2016 at 1319 Adams Avenue? No permits, no problems, no nothing, okay? There's 6 houses on that side of the street where the stairs have been going the same pattern off that steep slope for 77 years. Why do we suddenly have a problem?
I don't know the answer to that because it's not for this board.
Why
But
wouldn't it be for this
you
board?
didn't lose your grant.
Why wouldn't it? You know, I don't have the 5 minutes to discuss that with you, but somebody's down there lying because I still haven't received any amendments to the grant, okay? So anyway, what is this board going to do about the fact that planning board issues, board of adjustments, you're supposed to know who is doing what, when?
Valerie, we have a town engineer right here.
I'm asking to not, you are the zoning officer and the land use administrator, correct? So then how can you, so then,
Read up on what zoning officer's duties are.
so again, how can you
Your time is
deny
up
our
now.
permit for the stairs?
Because it's my job.
Because she's a paid professional, he's a paid professional, and that's the way it goes.
So this is your response.
Your time is up, Val.
You're not
Are
the,
you chairing
you're not
this
the
meeting?
chair.
Butch, I want to show you something before you leave.
Mayor, you might be the mayor, but you're not the chair of this board.
Can you state your name and address?
Okay? James Janone, 15 Franklin Road. 2 things I wanted to ask about. Regards to Ms. Williams' issue, this board does have the right to hear what she has to say. As the Board of Adjustment, if she requests a interpretation of zoning, then that's her right. That's what part of your job as the Board of Adjustment, not the planning board.
She can submit an application.
Well, she also has a right to come here to the board to ask for something as well.
If she wants an interpretation.
She may not have to apply, do an application. Okay, she's a resident here. These people on the Board of Adjustment are residents.
Did you just say I could make an application?
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's the very.
After she just got finished telling me, and the other one just got finished telling me, they've got nothing to do with the situation.
Yeah, right.
How
You
bogus
haven't
is
made an
that?
application.
They contradict each other.
You haven't made the application. So trash.
That's
At a
right.
council meeting, it was brought up, about an issue of, puppy mills being put on the restricted list of uses permitted. But according to what they said, that Ms. Palumbo said it does not need to go to the planning board. According to the law, it says that before an ordinance is enacted, it has to be referred to the planning board. Because under restricted uses, that's under zoning. So why are we getting misinformation at the council? That's what the council's telling everybody and the public. Because the guy came in to say, we'd like you to enact an ordinance. But clearly the law says that before an ordinance is enacted, it has to be referred to the planning board for comment and feedback. That's the procedure. I don't know why you had told the council.
Don't talk about me. Nobody asked me.
Well, you're on this board, and that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
An ordinance they want to look at enacting.
Then it needs to be referred to this board.
But
We haven't referred it yet, Jim, because we were waiting for the Board of Health. And
I
don't know what
understand
it is.
that, but I
It
was.
hasn't been referred to the planning board.
I never said it doesn't come to this board, Jim. I
Yeah,
don't know
because
where
the
you're getting
council's
that.
under the impression that it does not have to go to the planning board,
No,
because
they're
Debbie brought it
not.
up.
You just
Yes.
answered that it's not ready to be referred.
It's not ready, they haven't referred
I'm
it
not,
yet.
you haven't even talked about it because you're waiting for a sample ordinance from the guy, so you can write the ordinance. But you're just gonna bypass the whole procedure and go right.
We
to the
never
council.
said that.
Yes, you did,
No, I
because
did
it was
not.
brought up that
Nobody ever
Mary
said that.
said it does not have to go to the planning board. You see, you guys lie and then lie for each other. You know, you need to get your story straight. You guys looked at it as a board. Do the right thing. Follow
That's
state
your
law.
opinion. It says
No, it's
you-
not my
your
opinion.
opinion. You don't want to
State
accept the
law
truth.
says one thing.
You don't want to accept
You
what's
got,
said.
listen, this is not mob rule. Start acting like a mayor and stop acting
Well,
like
do
a
me a
mob.
favor, don't put words in my mouth.
You put your own words out of your mouth.
You're
You
the
put
one
your
who
foot in
says
your
that
mouth.
everybody else is whatever, thank you.
You think you're God of this board and the council.
You want me to
You
play
need to
back
grow
to you
up.
what you said?
Thank you.
What
Oh,
you
he
said
lies
you
all
said
the time.
That last meeting?
Anybody else from the public? Motion to close the meeting for the public?
We can play the whole video.
Second?
He's a joke up there, and the board is a joke.
So is the lawyer.
So, we bring them back?
So is the
Okay.
lawyer.
Or
The
that.
lawyer's a joke too. That's why he's getting sent to the bar association.
Little pansy.
Okay, federal indictments.
Included the lawyer. Look at him laugh up there. We can bring him to the bar.
Okay, sure.
I've had an opportunity
Okay.
to speak with Kenneth Roosh, and
Do you have a little
he
left up
represents the
there?
following. The pavement striping will be, he will do that. The ADA compliant parking space will be provided. Number 4 on the March 14th letter, pavement repair, that will be accomplished. The only item that we would ask for a waiver on would be number 9, which is a separate enclosure and pad and fence for the garbage. There are two uses on this property. One is a liquor store, and the other is proposed use. The liquor store does have garbage facilities, they have a dumpster, I believe they share with the crafts, so they're handling their garbage. This use is a low impact, low trash generation use, if you will, related to residual trash from a beauty salon. To install a pad with fencing with a somewhat permanent structure would be a bit of a hardship given the configuration of the lot and also the cost involved relative to the small amount of trash being produced by this specific usage. So we would request a waiver for that. But the other items will be taken care of.
What is she going to do with the garbage?
I think the garbage will go out with the municipal trash on.
We don't pick up commercial. We don't pick up commercial garbage.
Is there an arrangement through, I know, say, in Boone Township, you have to engage a trash hauler that you pay yourself.
Every commercial property is responsible for that, for their own commercial garbage pickup and recycling. Currently, there is a caged dumpster, I think it's really just for cardboard on the
Yes.
property, so there is room.
I mean, it's possible that the trash would be stored there for pickup, rather than creating a separate caged unit for the garbage receptacle. That's what we're asking for. Because it would be a small amount of garbage that this use would generate.
Can we go through my report? What did the owner respond to item number 2?
Yes, those would be replaced, yes.
Can I ask about number 1, Leon? What, I don't, can you interpret that?
This was just a statement for the board's use.
It says parking in rear.
There's a sign on the building that says parking in the rear.
Okay.
And it's actually a good sign because between the building and the curb line, South Salem Street,
Okay.
there's not enough room there to park a car, maneuver out of your space without backing out into the public road right away, public road.
Oh,
So it's, all cars should be parked in the rear. So it's just a statement,
they can't park anywhere else in the lot?
just in the rear. They should not park in the front. There's not enough room in the front of the building to park a car.
You're talking about South Salem Street?
Yes.
They can't park on, by South Salem Street, there's like double row of parking. There's parking in front of the store, and then there's parking by the curb. So no clients can park there?
They shouldn't, because there's not enough distance between the building and the curb line of the road to park a car.
But there's parking spaces there.
Right, I'm just telling you, from an engineering perspective, they shouldn't park there because it's not adequate, without backing out into the street, which is a busy street.
And that's why the parking in rear sign is there.
That's why the
because
sign is there. It's a
people
good sign.
park there, but it's
I
not
understand what you're saying, the
striped.
street, you're saying South Salem Street?
Correct. Between South Salem Street and the building,
Okay.
there's not enough distance there to safely park a vehicle, back it out, make a
Okay.
U-turn and pull out. When you back out into the street.
Oh, you mean right in front of the store?
Right in front of the store.
Oh, is the entrance, okay. I got you.
And what was the owner's response to comment number 5?
That has been done.
Are you sure?
That's what Mr. Rich said to me.
Well,
Maybe
if
that's-
it hasn't been done, the owner agrees to do it?
Oh, yes.
Number 6?
That apparently has been done or will be accomplished to the satisfaction of the
If it hasn't been done, the owner will do it.
Yes.
I've seen that removed,
I haven't been on site recently,
so
so.
that has been removed.
And the doors also taken care of.
Okay, yes. And all the garbage and litter, site-wide has been cleaned up, it will be cleaned up?
Yes.
Let me ask the applicant, how much garbage do you generate in a week? Something that can fit in a typical container, residential container?
She goes with about one large garbage bag a week.
Just one bag a week?
One large garbage bag.
Is that considered biohazard? I don't know. Harry would.
Well, you've got the cotton balls with the acetone, you've got dye, you've got, bleach, you've got empty colors, hair colors, so. Usually it's not like you have to have, like a doctor's office, you have to have waste, separate waste. But, there is a lot of garbage when it comes, you got hair, you're cutting hair, get empty shampoo bottles. There's a lot of garbage that is generated just from the business alone. And then you have lunch and you have recyclables and.
Is the beauty salon currently in operation?
No.
Are you sure?
this.
You're under oath on that.
What's up?
You're under oath on
Yeah, I mean, it's just not.
Can you ask the applicant that?
It's just
Lawyer's speaking up.
No, she says she wants to be operating,
So the answer to the question is she's not operating.
but she's not currently operating, she's not currently open.
So nobody goes in and out of your place of business
She
at all?
goes in and out,
No, other people. Nobody else does.
so now you are there.
No customers.
that. No?
No.
No? No.
But just, and I'm sure the board is aware, there are pending municipal summonses that are gonna be heard in April, dealing with, these allegations. That'll be dealt with in front of the municipal court. That, I think we're on for April 22nd.
So you really don't know how much,
Correct.
well then how can you say just one garbage bag of garbage?
I guess I can't say for certain.
I have a question. Remember, we were talking about that they would need to have a certain amount of parking spaces, like with the striping, and that the store had to have a certain amount. Do we determine how many that would be? Or?
No, I haven't determined that because I don't know the square footage of the beauty salon and I don't know the square footage of the liquor store. There's two uses on the site. It's a mixed use development, so the only way to calculate parking area requirement is to know the square footage.
Okay.
I can't answer.
So when he says he's going to stripe, how do we know what he's striping?
Well, without that calculation, he would stripe in terms of getting what he can get on the site. In other words, he would just go along that back paved area, once it's repaired, because there's a couple areas that have to be repaired, and just lay out one 9-foot space after another. The ADA space is an 8-foot wide space, and the access aisle is also 8 feet wide. So that would be 16 feet, and whatever's left would be divided by 9, and whatever that space count would turn out to be, it would be what it would be. Would it comply with the ordinance? I can't answer that.
And what about parking against the building? Not the front of the building, the back of the building?
Yes.
I don't know if there's enough depth there. I didn't measure it between, in order to get 2 rows of parking, you need 61 feet, 18 feet, 18 feet, and a 24-foot wide access aisle.
There's not enough.
No, 61 feet.
You got the 2 side roads coming in, and you put out there, they take you back into the car.
Yeah, my guess is you're right, you'd have to extend that rear edge of
They
pavement
have to
line
be
back.
parked out, farther out in the field.
Right.
Sell some property.
Hmm?
Sell some property.
Okay, so the stuff that the property line for that?
Well, I believe this is, I mean, certainly the board could advise us as to their wishes, but in talking to the landlord, it seems like these are things that are gonna be done now. Some items have been accomplished. The landlord advised that he already has spoke to a contractor about the line striping, changing the signs, the 3 signs in the front that are rusted, that's nominal, so that would be done. So
That's a tentative job.
because, understand, there's no benefit to my client to delay getting this done. She wants to get this done so she can get the final permit to move in. They have done some work inside the premises, for which permits have been issued, and I believe inspections have been accomplished, usual setup.
Well, I think with the stuff that has to be done there, I don't think I'd be okay to go in there.
When is she looking to
Too much there.
move in?
He's
When is
had
she
this
looking
since
to
February.
open?
Well, as soon as this work is done and the board approves it, well, here's what I'm anticipating. If the board were of a mind to approve this use, understanding that this was a nail salon before, it's a nail salon and hair cutting, it's not a dramatic departure from the prior use, it's a permitted use within the town. The configuration of the lot is what it is, so to speak. We understand that there's not sufficient depth in the front, perhaps to have adequate parking, maybe people parking in the past, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna comply with what Mr. Hall has recommended. Paul or someone else in the town confirming that this work was done. In other words, it's conditioned upon this being done, so we can accomplish that tonight. If the work isn't done, then you're not gonna issue a CO for the building to operate. In the meantime, the building is sitting, there's no work going on there, the license can't not be applied for through the state, through the cosmetology department, because in order to do that, you have to have what they refer to as a zoning permit, which would be, can't open and start for business until you guys sign off.
Has the Board of Cosmetology been there?
That I don't know. The application has not been submitted, because this is one of the conditions preceding to the submission of the application, and a certificate of occupancy.
Let's ask the applicant that question.
Has a license application, let me restrict that. Has anyone from the Board of Cosmetology visited the site? Have they visited the shop?
No, they haven't.
So the licenses for the operation have been applied for?
Not yet.
Not-
Because one of the, in the package to apply, there's what they refer to as a zoning permit and a certificate of occupancy. There are other requirements, and those are ready to go, but these are the two outstanding items. So there will be a delay between getting everything approved by the municipality, submitting the license, and then the application and the license for this locale being submitted. So there will be a delay before the business can be open.
I have a concern about the garbage. I do. You know, I mean, we're supposed to be recycling, and we're supposed to have garbage. Commercial entities are supposed to, why every commercial establishment needs some sort of dumpster within an enclosed area. The rear of the property has always been a mess because they don't have the proper dumpsters. There's always garbage, people throwing whatever, there's a caged dumpster now. So maybe they throw some things in there and it blows between the hair and the products and the paper towels and the cotton balls and all of it. So I'm not comfortable with saying that it's okay not to know what's happening with the garbage or where it's gonna go.
Well, I guess to address the board's recycling, and there's a shared dumpster with Krausers. If there is garbage, it's certainly not generated by my client, so that is an issue that perhaps has to be brought up with those tenants. I'm just requesting that the expense and the footprint of an enclosure be avoided here. Perhaps we can store our trash, the trash for this applicant, in the enclosure that already exists, rather than creating a separate enclosure.
There isn't an enclosure that exists.
No.
There is none. There's one a dumpster, that's like a caged dumpster, like you do for cardboard. The top of it's open, it's all caged, and that's just for garbage for anyone. As you can tell, the liquor store brings over to another town in Randolph, and that's first we've heard of that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, there is none on site.
And perhaps I should address this inquiry to Mr. Hall. In lieu of a concrete pad fence, which I don't know the configurations, but it's not a simple thing. Would there be some alternative garbage?
Based on the concerns I'm hearing, the answer is no. What we're talking about is a board-on-board fence with a hard surface on the bottom of it. Typically it's concrete, because garbage trucks pull into these things and garbage trucks weigh a lot. Normally they're 8 inches thick of concrete. I guess I would consider for a smaller operation like this that the floor of the enclosure could be asphalt. Requirements of a beauty salon, but I would be thinking maybe something 8 by 8 square would be adequate for this. And a board-on-board fence with a gate in the front that would allow a garbage truck to access the dumpsters, pick them up, dump them, and put them back. I'm just throwing out 8 by 8 as my best.
You're saying dumpsters, that's for the other stores also?
I think it would just be for this store.
Well, Strauss will put it in.
It's a different town.
That's a different town. Don't worry about
Oh, it's
that.
Strauss? Not Strauss, what's it, Advance, whatever.
They have their own, every store has their own garbage hauler come in.
Oh, okay, and what are they hauling out with? What is it in? Garbage
Well, they
can?
got 2 big hoppers in each end of the store.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Because the way you're saying is just a cardboard thing.
No,
Well,
there's
where-
5 dumpsters over there.
Oh, there is?
He is.
Oh, okay.
No, where the.
No, where he's talking about
Advance
across the street here.
Across the street, I used to own that, was it Advance?
Yeah.
So they
Yeah,
have.
they have enclosures and dumpsters.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's already there, okay, the way you were talking, I thought it was just.
No, but she doesn't.
I know that,
Oh.
yeah.
So why can't you just put some chain link fencing in?
Right.
He doesn't need to get a 20-yard hopper, 10-yard hopper, garbage hopper.
That's up to the board. I normally don't support chain link fences around the garbage dumpsters, because you want to buffer the view of those,
Mhm.
and you want them low enough to keep any garbage that gets loose to stay within the enclosure. So enclosure serves 2 purposes, buffering and to keep the loose garbage inside and contained.
And that's what they already have over there for the other stores?
No,
Oh.
like Barry was explaining, they have a dumpster.
Mhm.
No enclosure, but it's a caged dumpster, it's not solid steel.
Mhm.
It's caged wire, and it looks like it's primarily used for cardboard, but there is no dumpster enclosure.
That was why the liquor store, when I worked over there.
So all the other dumpsters are all exposed?
Well, there's
No
only one
other
dumpster.
There's only one
This is where the
dumpster.
liquor store is. She's where the liquor store is.
Right,
Not where Advanced Auto is.
yeah, Advance Auto has a dumpster.
Yes,
Oh.
she's across the street.
Oh.
There's no dumpster whatsoever. None. But Lena, in discussing this, isn't dumpster enclosures and striping of parking lots a site plan application?
It
Don't we
is,
need to
but-
see?
It is, but the applicant has requested or applied for a waiver of site plan, and these are the type of the issues that you discuss, and you make a determination if it's significant enough. You deny a waiver of site plan, and you make the applicant apply for site plan. No, you have to take formal action on the request for a waiver of site plan. And if you're not comfortable with these issues under the waiver process, you deny the waiver, and you instruct the applicant to apply for site plan. I mean, I'll defer to our attorney, but that's my understanding.
I would agree.
There's that dilemma of what we're doing. I mean, we're hashing all this out, kind of, it's really site plan. They're supposed to propose to us, and we see if it fits, not us designing.
You may be heard with regard to our request for a waiver of site plan. Respectfully, this is an ongoing site which cannot be made worse than it already is by this use. It's the same configuration, it will be made better to the extent that there have already been improvements made, and there will be more improvements made, and specifically no parking in the front, which may have been an issue in the past. The board has not required the adjacent tenant to have an enclosed pad for garbage, and they clearly are generating refuse. Obviously, it's blown around the parking lot. So to require site plan, which will now put us back more, it's a finite usage, it's a permitted usage. The site cannot be made larger, you can't buy adjacent property to put in more spots. This is a configuration that this board, this municipality has accepted for a long time, certainly before this applicant came in. So we would respectfully request that based upon that, and based upon the de minimis amount of modifications that have to be made to it, the striping, the ADA compatible parking space, those are the only traditional site plan issues that we would be addressing. If we were to take a vacant piece of land, develop it, have site plan for drainage, I get that. But this is, we're asking for some, we're being asked for some spaces to be striped, and we're gonna do that. We're not coming in on a variance, because it may be that, that Mr. Hall goes out and measures in, says, geez, you X number of spaces, you don't have it. Well, how do we deal with the liquor store next door? That's not what we're here for. We're simply here to be permitted to continue an ongoing usage of a nail salon with the addition of another permitted use, which is the hair. Site plan issues that have been raised by Mr. Hall, we are free to address. The only one that we're really discussing is the garbage dumpster, because of the size and scale of it versus the usage and the cost associated with installing it. So based upon that, I would respectfully request that our request for a site plan waiver be granted.
Well, I have a little problem with, saying that the usage is not really changing when they clearly have been doing business for months.
Well, that's an issue that they've already been served with summonses on that. Those allegations, we're gonna be dealing with that on the 22nd.
And there's a massage room or...
Well, the testimony has been that there's not going to be, that there is not massage usage going on, and there will not be going forward. So in other words, that's an inquiry for another day.
I realize that's a separate matter.
If there's operation and there's a massage parlor there, certainly the town comes in and addresses that. We're here for a zoning permit, if you will, to operate a hair salon, permitted use, and a nail salon, permitted use. We do understand the concerns of Mr. Hall, and we're addressing it. I don't know, and while I know it's hard to have a Chinese wall, so to speak, and ignore the fact that there are allegations that are in the municipal court vis-a-vis the operation, I think this board has to ignore that. Someone else is going to deal with that, and another body will deal with that, and just address what's before the board, which are the comments of the engineer and the testimony of the applicant. And I do understand the gravity of the charges that are pending.
Because we asked the applicant a couple of questions about was she doing business when she came in front of us the first time, and it appears that she hasn't been truthful.
Well, I don't know,
I know, you weren't here, but that's why I brought that up.
We can't, as a board, decide based on what they could possibly do. Any use. You can say, I'm opening a restaurant, and you start selling guns out the back. You can't say, we think you're going to do this. We think you're going to do that. Testimony is that they're not going to do it.
That's it.
We can go back in the future and see if they're doing it. If they're doing it, there's alternative means to deal with it.
And what about the garbage dumpster? Should that be rectified first?
It should be, to the extent that we can enforce it on the tenant, it's another question. But how would she operate without garbage?
Right.
She can't bring it home with her. So that's going to need to be rectified.
Should come to this board with a proposal for the garbage, then.
The applicant has a tenant. I mean, the liquor store has a dumpster. There can be one for both.
The liquor store never came in front of us, and that's why we need to address it now.
I understand we have an application for the board and should use it as an opportunity to take care of and rectify some things on the site. And council's represented that we can condition this approval on some of these line items getting finished.
There's an overhead door, tenant space. Do you know if there's another tenant in there, in the back?
So are there other tenants in the building other than a liquor store?
Well, is there any way to put just garbage cans in there? And then she would take her daily garbage and put them in the cans, in the building, in the area in the back. And then have someone come to dispose of that.
I think that's a fair solution. I will.
Yeah, I'm agreement with that.
That overhead door, that belongs to the liquor store.
It doesn't, it was subdivided improperly.
Because that's where we used to keep all of
I
our,
know, somebody put up a makeshift wall and had a separate tenant in there.
No, that's worse than government.
Was a problem that was settled in municipal court, so that should be empty. And that should be used for,
Is that part of
Sure.
first base?
Hmm?
Is that part of first base?
it is not part of
No.
first base.
Oh, okay.
But it's owned by the same landlord, so
I'd be agreeing with
There's a
that.
back door, there's an overhead door.
That would-
that's all right.
It's a garage door, yeah.
That's certainly an acceptable solution, which we appreciate.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And how much space is there?
It's a,
like a room?
It's an 8-foot door.
yeah,
Oh, it is?
it's the size of the garage? Yeah. So if you had some garbage cans, you don't wanna leave the garbage outside with rodents and.
We'll take a road trip.
But the landlord would have to agree to that.
Yeah.
Given my conversation with him a few moments ago, I believe he would agree to that. If he doesn't, I'll be faxing a letter to your office in the morning. I'll have that conversation with him this evening. But we just
Still have to
comments to you earlier
get,
that-
still have to get a hauler to come and take, you know,
Yeah,
take the
arrange for
garbage
private
cans,
Yeah.
for this way.
That's understood.
Very good.
I have a question for the applicant. How come she changed attorneys?
It's like the icing on the cake, believe me.
You know, like Carl did to retire.
Yeah, and Mark, his last name is,
Um, So, it's not your intention to do massage at all, ever? No.
So you would accept that as a condition of any site plan waiver?
Correct.
And what about facials? Waxing, facials, are you gonna do that?
She would like to, yeah.
But no massage? No massage, you'll take that off of your website.
It's illegal anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's illegal. Sir, it's in the ordinance that there's no massages allowed. It's one of the things.
I wish you would give it this copy.
I don't know, kind of a timetable to,
Not finished, and they've had this application in November.
yeah, but they just talked to the landlord tonight.
Well,
This.
that's not our problem.
Okay, we'll open it to the public for, motion to open it to the public to speak about this application.
Motion to open the public
Second.
for this
All
only.
in favor?
For this only.
I just have one question. I'll stand there because I speak loud enough. You talked
Just
about
state your name, Jim, for the record.
James Janone, 15 Franklin Road. When you were speaking about the garbage collection, the applicant said they were sharing the dumpster with Crowders.
No, the liquor store is not this
Oh,
applicant,
well, I wasn't sure who they were talking about, whether it was liquor stores or their business.
not theirs.
Okay, because, I mean, that's in a totally different municipality.
I know, I stated that, yeah.
If you do approve this, because I don't understand why the owner's not here. The mini mall, the businesses in the back, they all have dumpsters. If you're gonna grant them approval, why isn't it stipulated that the owner provide for garbage collection with proof of contract, of course? They do have dumpsters, they're only 2 yards that roll around. So I mean, that doesn't take up that much space. But that's what I would be concerned with, because, you know, you can give approval and say, we'll store the garbage inside, but then how do you know it's being collected properly and not put in another municipality? You know, that would be a concern. So that's all I had.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
He has a point, let me just ask, would be responsible for